Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Now last time we were preparing for the windstorm. We put the tarp on the rock wool and it survived the windstorm, but as you can see, it caused some other mess. So our wood shed got knocked over and it was already damaged by the tornado, but it did take a little bit more damage. And also before we left, this maple tree was also creaking a lot and the top of it broke out and fell and caused a bunch of mess over here. So this week we want to do a little bit of cleanup. We want to rebuild our wood shed. And finally, I want to upgrade our solar. You might remember what happened to our solar in the tornado. And if you don't, let's go check it out real quick. So these are our Rich Solar 100 watt panels. And you can see that these things got destroyed in the tornado. Now, surprisingly, they all still put out voltage, which is just crazy to me that they can be twisted up like this and still work. Our original system had 4 panels in it, and I'll put a link to a video where we describe the system in more depth. 2 of them are right here. One of them actually wasn't damaged and we're using it on the tool shed still. And the final one is over there in that cedar tree, impaled by that branch. We just left that there to be the fun reminder of the tornado. And this system that we had was great. Originally with the shed, before we had power, we used it to power our fan and our lights and charge batteries. And after we hooked up to power, we moved the system over to our tool shed, where we've been using it to power some lights and charge our robot lawnmower, which has been great. Unfortunately, it all blew down, and Rich Solar actually saw that and they reached out to us and decided they wanted to help us replace these broken panels. So we'll have that to do today too. Also, I'm seeing some stink bugs, our first sightings of them this year. So it's the start of stink bug season, and this is actually going to be the first year where our shed is completely sealed up and we don't have to worry about them. But if you guys start seeing them, I'll put a link to a video that we did on stink bugs last year, and I'm hoping I can help some of you out this year so they don't get too bad. But let's go ahead and get started.
The wasp is not happy. We finally got all the screws sorted. And so now we keep reusing these things over and over. One advantage over nails, there's one more screw somewhere.
Oh, I see it.
You do?
Yeah. I think we gotta bring our mower back here and do a little mow before we start.
Our traps.
Oh, this is my stick.
Huh?
What up, Stick Nation?
That was the other way, right?
Yeah.
I guess we could cut this off now. Didn't know where that was, did you?
I had no idea. Oh.
So we used the tack, fixed the governor. It's now running at the right level, right RPM. It's not on super cut mode. It's been so dry the last month that nothing's grown, which was actually great for us because we did get to catch up on things, but just that rain last week, now everything's starting to grow again. So these are some of the very many dozens of ball jars we've dug up from the barn and from the property all the way around. They're old. We also got a bunch of the metal lids with porcelain in them, and we have a ton of these that we're going to be using for putting stuff in the kitchen. And we need to once and for all pull these nails out of this one.
Guys, we've been moving around these pieces of green wood from the shed for so long. We don't know what we're going to use them for, but we're definitely open to suggestions. Also, I want to hear you guys' thoughts on this style of video that I've been doing. The more slower pace, kind of watching more things real time.
Let's go over there.
Walking around. Pull this stuff out and do a little mow right here.
All right. Oh well. First to do this other one.
Crazy how much mesh just that one branch made. So we wrapped a chain around this, kind of tangled everything together, and we're going to try to pull it over to a burn pile. All right, well, we've made a pretty big dent in this area. It is one of those things where it has to get a little bit messier before it gets better, but we managed to get all that branch and tree top out of there. And we also got some more firewood that we'll be able to stack up in our new wood shed. But it is starting to heat up and some sun is coming out. So I want to go ahead and grab those rich solar panels and get them unboxed and go ahead and plug them into our air conditioning because we've been so eager to get to start testing out with that. So let's go grab them and get them unboxed. These things are huge. So our other panels were 100 watts each, and we had 4 of them. These are way bigger, and they're 250 watts each. So with just 2 of these panels, we'll have more power than with our other 4. So these are the Rich Solar Mega 250 Onyx, the black.
And our existing charge controller is limited to 40 amps max input or 100 volts. So I think these are 13 and some change amps out. And do you remember what the voltage was?
18.
No, 18. So let's just call it 20.
can assist me.
There it is.
Oh. Upside down, but I love the way the black looks on that.
Yeah.
That just belongs with the house.
All right. Yeah, that's probably too low. Need something bigger, but I'm just saying we do something like this for today.
All right, so we got a bunch of new wire that we'll have to run it over there. Dad's clipping the little zip ties off. But we're gonna put these in a series configuration, so that's going to double the voltage and the current will stay the same. And try it out that way.
These are about 20 volts, so it'll be 40 volts and then 13 point whatever amps, 13 point something amps. So.
And then one thing we've noticed with our mini split is that most of the time it stays around 500 watts. It can go higher than that if it's really kicked on, but I'd say that's about the average that we see.
Do you want to stretch that
And
out?
so since this is two 250 watt panels, it might just work out perfect for now.
There was no satisfying peel of plastic on these things.
So we made it over to our EG4 mini split with our 2 leads from the panels. And the really cool thing about this mini split is it has direct PV input. So you can just plug these wires in directly from the panels, which is really cool. And also, what other AC has that? I just think this is the coolest thing ever. So we're excited to test this out. And also in general, we've just been loving this. If you missed the video on this, definitely go check it out. So I'm gonna get the app pulled up here. I didn't mention last time this mini split has an app so you can control it with your phone. And another thing I didn't say is it's also a heat pump. I think that was a pretty important thing that I left out. So right now we can see that it's using 480 watts from the AC and 0 watts from PV. So we don't have a lot of sun shining right now, but I'm just gonna go ahead and plug it in and see if we notice any change. Plugged in, and now the sun's coming out. Not seeing anything yet.
I wonder if we have to be over a certain amount before it turns on.
You need a minimum voltage of 90 volts. DC.
Oh no, we only have 40. We don't even have anywhere near that. All right.
Just a good excuse to buy 3 more panels. Man, there's so much buildup for it not working.
I know, but it's real. Like we learned something.
Okay, well, this ended up being a bit of a fail. We didn't realize that you need at least 90 volts minimum for it to start kicking in on the solar. And so with those 2 panels, we can really only get about 40 volts. So we'll need about 3 more panels before we test this out. But we are gonna do it. I mean,
and you can see how easy it was to hook up. Like, yeah, that part is still great.
Like, it won't add, I mean, it'll obviously cost more money for the panels, but I mean, you just connect them together, so it's not gonna add any more work. But we did intend on getting more panels specifically for this. We just wanted to test it out real quick. So now we just got to continue what we're going to do with them in the first place and go put them over by our tool shed. So let's continue on with that.
You might want to lean it up against the back. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter. The side will work.
This roof is solid. They won't fit side by side.
But we could do it like this, right?
All right, so we got them hooked back up. We're just running into that same line. It wasn't damaged. And look at this, there's a stink bug up there. It's that time of the year.
It doesn't matter if just the battery's hooked up.
All right, so it's working Right now it's in float charging mode because these batteries are already completely full. So I just put a load on it, the robot mower, and we can plug some other stuff into here. I was thinking about bringing a Wi-Fi extender out here and powering it off that too, because our Wi-Fi starts to get spotty past this area. But yeah, now we can plug some stuff in out here. So thank you so much, Rich Solar. This is going to be great. And by the way, I'll put a link to those panels, the Mega 250s, in the description. It's an affiliate link, so if you guys use that and buy them, then you'll help support the channel. So thank you. All right, so you can see that when this fell over in the tornado, these 2x4s just snapped. So we're going to replace those today. And the original screws that came with this were these Phillips. I know, gross. We like the Torx, but they got kind of rusted out. So we're going to go ahead and replace them while we're at it too. And we have our case full of an assortment of screws. We're also collecting screws all the time, so some of these are some that we had taken out of some stuff. And these Harbor Freight cases are just great for storing them.
And get this up like this.
Does it go in between like that?
Yeah.
We got the fresh coat of stain going on. Oh my gosh, stink bugs. Today's the day. Stink bugs. All right, well, we got our woodshed rebuilt now, even put some fresh stain on, so this thing should be great now. We can finally load it up with some wood. And we already started loading it up with the maple that came down in this tree right here, and also some walnut. Now, this is really a temporary solution. Eventually, we want to build something a lot bigger so we can store all kinds of wood and always be ready for some fires inside. But this is good for right now. We want to go ahead and fill it up with all the various wood that's fallen around the land. And also with our solar, we got that all set up in the tool shed. I want to give a big thank you again to Rich Solar for sending out those panels. It was really great that they reached out and wanted to replace them after we had the damage with the tornado. So thank you so much, Rich Solar. And we're going to be using that to power our robot lawnmower and some other things that you put inside a tool shed, maybe some chargers or lights. That system should be great in there. We do still have a few various piles around here that we need to move around and clean up, but that's going to be a wrap for this video. I want to give a big thank you to everyone that has liked and subscribed, and also thank you so much to everyone that backs us over on Patreon. Really appreciate your support, and we'll see you guys next time.